Good evening. You're watching The Big Story, where we discuss the hottest topics of the day. I'm Olivia Quay, coming to you live from the Straits Times newsroom. Now, about 300 DBS employees vacated their office at Marina Bay Financial Centre earlier today after an employee was confirmed to be infected with the coronavirus, which has officially been named COVID-19. An email seen by the Straits Times said there was a confirmed case at the DBS Asia Central Office on the 43rd story of MBFC Tower 3. A DBS spokesman said the employee was tested yesterday and the bank was informed of the confirmation this morning. The 300 members of staff working on the same floor vacated the premises by 12 p.m. today as a precautionary measure and have been told to work from home for the time being. Meanwhile, the Health Ministry has directed doctors in the public sector to restrict their work to within one hospital. Patients and healthcare staff should also limit their movements across different healthcare premises. The number of coronavirus cases in Singapore has risen to 47, with 2 new cases confirmed yesterday. One of the new patients is a 35-year-old Singapore permanent resident who lives in Johor Bahru and works at the Resorts World Sentosa Casino. The other is a 39-year-old Bangladeshi worker who had worked at Seletar Aerospace Heights, together with another Bangladeshi worker who was earlier found to have the virus. Of the 47 patients here, 9 have recovered, while others are in critical condition. With case 47 working at RWS, it's a further blow to Sentosa, which has reported a drop in visitorship and sales of between 20 and 50% since the start of the month. Now, Singapore's first coronavirus patient has stayed at a hotel on the island. And yesterday, the Singapore Tourism Board projected a 25 to 30% drop in visitor arrivals this year. Journalist Melissa Heng joins me now to discuss this. Hey Melissa, so what are the spillover effects from a drop in visitor arrivals? We know several hundred events have already been postponed or cancelled.
Yeah, so STB estimates that Singapore is losing about 20,000 visitors every day now. So that definitely is going to affect like tourism and retail, right? Hotels have been receiving cancellations. Quite a few, several hundred actually, MICE corporate meetings have been cancelled in the last few days since we've gone to DOSCON Orange. And a few larger events such as the IT show that's scheduled to be in March have been postponed.
STB Chief Executive Keith Tan also said yesterday that he expects the situation to be as severe or even worse than SARS. Will the tumble in the tourism numbers affect jobs here though?
For now, the industry stakeholders say that that's not going to happen. For example, the Singapore Hotel Association said that even during the SARS period, there weren't no workers were laid off. The idea is that businesses need to have the available manpower and be ready when we get into the recovery phase of things. There are some companies that are taking certain measures to cut costs now, though. For example, like some travel agencies have said they've moved to a 4-day week. Department store OG has also cut down on its operating hours. So these are some measures that people are taking.
Right. Well, of course, more details will be revealed in the budget statement next week. But do you know what's in the works to support these businesses in the meantime?
So like you said, not a lot has been revealed about what will help, but because more is going to be announced next week during the budget. But if we look back at 2003, the government provided a 230 million relief package for the industries. These included higher property tax rebates for gazetted tourist hotels and a reduction in foreign worker levies.
Right. So let's give another comparison back to SARS in 2003. How long did it take for the tourism and consumer sectors to recover back then?
It took about 9 months for them to really recover and get back on sort of a year-on-year growth rates. So it means that we waited or we took till about January 2004 till things really got back on track for the industries.
I see. Well, moving forward, how reliant is Singapore on visitors from China? I'm just wondering because even if the coronavirus is completely eradicated in Singapore, would our tourist numbers pick up if the travel restrictions on Chinese tourists remain in place?
I think we hope so. Singapore gets so Chinese tourists make up about 20% of our international travelers. Indonesia and India come in second at I think about 18% and 12% respectively. So we're not like heavily reliant on the Chinese tourists. Nobody knows when the travel restrictions will be lifted, right? But STB has said that they do have plans to look into also marketing and trying to attract travelers from our other markets. So even places like Australia, the US, and parts of Europe, which actually the last few years have seen we've seen growth in travelers from these countries as well.
All right. Thanks so much, Melissa. That was journalist Melissa Heng on the repercussions of projected falling visitor numbers.